Hello everyone, Foodservice Studios here and back with another Minecraft overview video. And yes, this is about Detros mods again. Crazy, am I right? Anyways, enough talk. It's time that I do another video about Detros mods. But how is this one going to be like this time? Well, I'm actually going to be talking about every single mod that Detro released. Yes, the released mods that Detro has put out there. So I'm going to be talking about every single released mod that Detro put out there. I'm going to be talking about each of the different mods he released, along with all of the other versions of said mods too. I mean, I'm not going to really talk much about the older versions, but I will definitely explain what these mods were like to what these mods are like now. But yeah, we're going to get right into it right now. So let's begin. Now, I do want to point out is that I'm only going to be talking about mods that were released. However, unfortunately, some of these mods you can't actually download anymore at some point. Actually, no, there are some mods that you cannot actually download anymore, mainly because the files that you needed to download these add-ons are deleted, of course. I'm still going to talk about them, but still, I just want to point out there, you guys want to actually try out some of these mods and somehow you can't, that's why, because you can't download them anymore. Well, at least some of them at least. But anyways, now we can start talking about the first mod on the list. The first release mod we're going to be talking about is Scarycraft. Now, from the looks of it, I actually never played this mod, nor have I ever bothered to touch it. But after watching the video that Detro posted, a year ago or so, when showing off this mod, it turns out it only adds in just one mob, and that's it. I even scrolled over the video, and that's really it. It's just only one mob. I'm pretty sure this mod was supposed to have multiple mobs, considering it was called Scarycraft or something, but I guess this mod never really got finished. So that was really all we got. And about now I want to talk about the monster's design. Well, the mob, of course. Very simple, tall looking blocky figure design, really. Nothing too crazy. I do want to bring up something real quick, is that the mods I am talking about, most of these mods are pretty old, so obviously they're not going to look the best, which is why later on you're going to see mods that have more better looking and so on. I'm not going to really show much here in this video because this video will take fucking forever to work with if I'm just trying to show every single detail of each different mod. This will take so long, it'll drive me insane. But anyways, yeah, that's what I really gotta say for, well, this mod, Scarycraft. Alright, the next Detro mod we're going to be talking about is the Fake Villager. Now, just like the last one I just talked about, Scarycraft, the Fake Villager mod doesn't really add much either. It just only adds in one mob, and it's just a villager with white eyes, and he's got some weird design pretty much, and he attacks you. That's really about it. Really nothing much there. And the design is also really basic too. Again, it's really just a villager, except he's got white eyes, he's got a weird mouth and all that. Nothing really too crazy and all that. That's all I gotta say about the Fake Villager mod. The next one I'm gonna talk about now is the Enderman Dweller, or just the Ender Dweller for short. Also, I forgot to bring up that I actually have played the Fake Villager mod. Actually, wait, no, I didn't. But anyways, I do want to bring up the fact that I have actually played this one, the Ender Dweller. That one, I actually did play this on Survivor World, and I'm gonna be honest, it's nothing too crazy. It's basically just a weird, tall Enderman that basically just chases you once it spots you. And it can also teleport. And it has a shit ton of health. But yeah, that's really all I gotta say about the Ender Driller. Nothing really too crazy about it. The Ender Driller's design is also, it's okay, I guess. Again, a pretty basic design that you would see in Minecraft anyway. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say about the Ender Driller. I have played this one on Survival World, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty much just an Enderman, really, except it's just really hostile and he's just stupidly tanky. But that's really all I gotta say. Alright, so the next mod I'm also going to be talking about is actually an infection mod this time. And this mod is called the Flood, or Flood Parasite, or the Flood Returns. Now this mod actually had 3 versions of the mod. We had the original Flood mod, which you can't really download anymore. Then there's the Flood Parasite mod, which I never played. And then there's the Flood Returns, which I also never played. But from the most of it, it's basically just an infection mod. You start off a normal Minecraft world and then things look normal at first until you eventually encounter like weird green parasite-like mobs. And I'm not gonna lie, the designs are, well, they're not that bad. Again, I never played any of these versions, so I can't really give much about the designs really. And I don't remember, I mean, I watched the videos about these mods before that Detros posted, but again, it's just been a while, so I can't really pay attention to the designs of the mobs. I'm assuming the older versions designs are more but like, I think Flood Returns designs are a lot better. Not to mention, I haven't really heard anything like new about this mod for a long time either. Like, the latest version we have now is the Flood Returns. That's just really about it. But overall, it's just basically an infection mod, an old one too. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say about the Flood infection. The next mod we're gonna be talking about is the Pigman, and I don't really know what to say. This mod doesn't really add much, except it just adds in one mob, the Pigman, and he's just he's a very tall, angry, extremely basic, tanky as hell Pigman. That's really all I gotta say about the Pigman. Nothing much really. Its design is also pretty basic too, so I can't really give much to it really. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and head to the next mod now, because I don't really know what much to say about this one. Alright, so now we get to the next mod, From the Darkness. This is pretty much another Dweller mod, and it's actually not that bad, sorta. Then again, isn't really much. It just adds in one mob, which I think he's called From the Darkness too, or maybe he's called something else, I don't know. But basically this guy is like, he's like a blue dweller, and he's a rare spawn too. He also like strikes lightning and such, I believe. I don't know. He has a mechanic where like if he does spot you, he like strikes lightning and something, and then he just chases you afterwards and kills you and such. He's also really strong and he's extremely tanky. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say about From the Darkness. Nothing really much at all, really. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this mod. I will say though, I do really like the Dweller's design. It looks, while some looking basic, I do like his face. His face definitely makes up for the design. Anyways, that's all I gotta say about From the Darkness. I'm curious if that mod will ever get an update. Huh. Next up is the Meat Owl Dweller. Now, unfortunately, you can only play its one old version of the Meat Owl Dweller. You can't really play any of its future updates at all for some reason, because I think Detros forgot to post the newer versions out in the public. So right now, you're only able to play like the old versions pretty much. You know, where you used to look like pretty much a weird black figure, really. Cause I never played the newer versions. I mean, I've seen videos of it, but that's just about it. yeah, there's pretty much like multiple versions of this mod. And then there's the latest version where he's got a more dweller look. But again, that version doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. He also had another design too, which you also cannot play as well. So you're just only can play as the version where you had the more weird black figure looking design. I can't really give too much about it because I did not play the later versions. I mean, I can go on about the designs though. Its designs did definitely get better. It just sucks that you can't play the latest versions because you can't download them because I think Detros just forgot to publish them. Or maybe he lost the files, just couldn't do it at all, but yeah. But you are able to play its old version though, where the Meat Drawer was more of a black weird figure. I will mention this though. This old version that I'm talking about does add in like something else. It does add in like a new mob or something. And this particular new mob is like some weird parasite-like little guy, and if you kill him, he'll drop like materials for you or something that you can use to craft a weapon. And I think the weapon is really OP if I recall correctly. But that's really all I gotta say about the Meat Dweller. Overall, it had a pretty basic design at first, but eventually its designs did get better. Again, it just sucks you can't play the latest versions. But yeah, that's just whatever's. Next mod I'm going to be talking about now is the Agony. I actually played this one like years ago I think. I actually played this mod on Survival World. It's pretty much just another infection mod pretty much. Nothing too crazy. However, I will definitely give credits where credits are due. The designs of some of the infecteds look really cool. I actually do like some of the designs of some of the infecteds that you do occasionally encounter. But that's all I really can say right now. It's just another infection mod. Now, as time goes on, Detros does make a lot better designs for like the infected mods. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say about, this mod. Overall, pretty cool looking monsters at least. Next up is the Con Golem, and all it really adds in is just one powerful mob. It's really just the Con Golem, really a mix between the Iron Golem and King Kong, mixed into one dude, which is the Con Golem. And he is a pretty strong mob, like he's very strong. But yeah, that's really about it. Also, the design is, well, it's basically an Iron Golem retextured. Not much I could really say there, to be honest. But anyways, that's all I gotta say about the Con Golem. Next up. Alright, the next mod is Wardenzilla. Wardenzilla is also a pretty simple mod. It just adds in one powerful mob, which is Wardenzilla. And Wardenzilla is basically, if Godzilla and the Warden from Minecraft mixed together, you get Wardenzilla. And Wardenzilla is also a pretty powerful mob too. I also really like his design actually. It's somewhat basic to look at, but it's definitely a pretty cool design enough for me to like it. Overall, that's all I really gotta say. One mob who is extremely powerful, but definitely a cool design. Next mod. The next mod on the list is Godzilla -1. Now, keep in mind, I actually loved this movie. That movie was fantastic. So, a mod about Godzilla -1 is pretty cool. But anyways, enough about me talking about, the movie. I want to talk about the mod that is based around the movie. So what does the Godzilla -1 add in? Well, obviously it adds in Godzilla himself, or an old Godzilla movies faction like Gojira. And Gojira is, well, as you expected, extremely powerful. I mean, after all, it's Godzilla, so of course he'd be extremely powerful. But yeah, Gojira is an extremely powerful mob that can really destroy everything in his path. Oh, and I also want to bring up his design. His design is pretty good. Definitely a pretty good design for something you would see from a usual Godzilla mod in Minecraft. There's also another thing that was added in this mod too. Um, it's some kind of mine, some sea mine. It's pretty huge, and you can actually destroy it. And when you destroy the explosive bomb, it will really cause a massive explosion, and it really kills everything in its path. So this mod adds in, well, Gojira and an extremely overpowered bomb. That's really it. Also, the bomb is, well, it's got a basic design, but you know, it's there. Nothing too much, just something fun to goof around with, pretty much. But yeah, overall, pretty decent mod. I mean, there isn't really much to it, but hey, it's a Godzilla mod. I'm all up for cool, big, powerful monsters on the loose in Minecraft. I mean, there's a ton of freaking mods about Godzilla. Anyways, that's enough talking about this mod. The next mod I'm going to be talking about is the Carnus Infection mod. Now, it's pretty clear that this mod is based around Vita Carnus, one of my favorite analog horrors, by the way. Actually, no, it is my most favorite analog horror, by the way. One of the best analog horrors I've ever seen, by the way. But yeah, this mod is pretty much an infection mod that's based around Vita Carnus. And yes, it is true, there are some mobs that are actually the creatures, or at least based around the creatures from Vita Carnus. So basically, this is an infection mod, except it's based around Vita Carnus. Overall, I never really played it, but I actually did look at the designs of these mobs, and they look pretty good. But anyways, that's all I really gotta say. It's another infection mod, except it's based around an analog core. An analog core that I love. That's peak. The next mod I'm going to be talking about is Infected Sky, and it's also another mod that's based around an analog horror, which is the same name, Infected Sky. I never actually watched it myself, to be honest, so I don't really know much about the story or anything at all. But yeah, this mod exists, and basically it adds in another OP mob, which is basically that weird four-legged bloody creature who has airplane parts on his body. Again, I never actually watched the actual analog horror itself, so I don't really know anything about its story or anything, or I don't even know anything about its characters, nor about the monsters themselves at all. But yeah, I will say the design of this thing is really pretty and badass to look at. But yeah, again, I don't know really much to say about it because I don't know much about the analog horror itself. Again, I never watched it, so I don't know anything about the characters or its story. So, yeah, I'm just gonna have to not really talk much about this one. I will say though, the mob itself is really OP and it's got a really cool design. That's all I can really say. Alright, next up is Shin Sonic. And oh boy. Yeah, Detros made a fuck ton of versions of the Shin Sonic mod. Don't get me wrong, the first version of the Shin Sonic mod was pretty basic, to be honest. But over time though, he did end up improving on those models. Eventually, because of those many different versions of the Shin Sonic mod itself, yeah, you can definitely tell Detros has gotten a lot better at making models and such nowadays. Especially in like the latest versions where Shin Sonic actually looks a lot more cooler now. But holy shit, the amount of different versions of this mod that exists is absolutely insane. But what does all these versions of the mod include? Well, simple. Shin Sonic, except with different forms. Now obviously the older versions mainly include his first form, his second form, and his more larger forms. But eventually in the later versions, Detros adding like newer forms for him, and even adding a super form for Shin Sonic I think as well, in one of the different versions of the Shin Sonic mod. Oh yeah, and I think some of them also add in, oh wait, I think they add in Shin Tails as well. But yeah, It's basically just another mod you can goof around with in create mode and just spawn Shinsai and watch him just kill every mob in sight. Really cool mod though. Obviously the old versions, you know, the designs are, you know, there at first, but eventually later versions, the designs just got a whole lot better. So, yeah. Next mod is the Paranoia mod. Finally, a horror mod. Now, obviously, this mod adds in like I think 1 or 2 entities, I believe. But basically, this horror mob involves around you being stalked and such by a mob called the Observer. Now, the Observer's design is actually not that bad to look at, but basically how this mod works is that you basically get stalked, I think. Yeah, you get stalked, and then occasionally, at some point, the Observer will start attacking you. But yeah, that's pretty much the entire point of this mod. Like, you're getting stalked by something, and eventually you get attacked by the monster, and you die. Overall, that's pretty much the entire mod. And again, the design is pretty decent and pretty good too. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say about this mod. Next up is the Five Nights at Freddy's add-on. I never played it, sadly. Before I know, it adds in, well, FNAF stuff. It adds in, I think it adds in the souls of the children. Oh yeah, I think it also adds in, Spring Bonnie, aka William Afton, inside the suit. And I think it's a boss mob too. Again, I didn't really watch the whole video that Detros posted about the mod. And again, I never played it myself, so I don't really know. Obviously, I love FNAF. Five Nights at Freddy's is definitely one of my favorite indie horror titles. But the mod itself, never really played it. Or at least tried it out in create mode. But yeah, overall, pretty cool mod because, you know, it's Five Nights at Freddy's. It's cool that Detros made a mod about Five Nights at Freddy's, so I'm gonna definitely give him credit because it's Five Nights at Freddy's. Peak stuff, dude. Next up is the Narcotic Howler. And Narcotic Howler is actually another old mod that Detros made a while back as well. There was 2 versions of this mod. There's the old version where you basically do it the Narcotic Howler, but he has a very basic design. Or you get the latest version of Necrotic Howler where he's got a better design. And yeah. That's pretty much it with the entire mod though. It just adds in 1 mob, which is the Necrotic Howler. He's pretty strong, and he also is very tanky. He's pretty much a dweller. But yeah, that's what I really gotta say about the Narcotic Howler. So, yeah. Overall, pretty cool mod though. Obviously, it started off as, you know, another low-budget mod, but eventually it got an update, and the mob himself got a better design. Peak stuff, Detros. Alright, so next up is the Thing. The Thing Infection mod. It's pretty obvious that this mod is based around The Thing, which is a horror movie. Unless it's not, I could be wrong, but that's what I'm thinking of. It's based on The Thing, you know, the horror film. I never played this one, sadly, because I just didn't want to. I didn't really pay attention much to the mob's designs either, so I just don't really know much about it. All I can say is it's another infection mod, and I'm just gonna go with that. So, next mod. Alright, the next mod we're gonna be talking about is another infection mod. God damn it. Well, this particular one is called the Red Rot Infection, and again, I also did not play this one. So I don't really know much about this one either, other than it's just another infection mod. Moving on. Alright, next up is the Sea Eater. I don't really know much about what this creature is supposed to be or anything, nor to what this thing originates from. But from what I can tell, I'm assuming it's another giant mob that's extremely OP and such. So that's really it. The design is pretty good though, so I'll give it that. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say about this mod. The next mod from Detros we're gonna be talking about is Grimace. Yeah, just Grimace, one of the McDonald's mascots. doesn't really add much. It just adds in Grimace, and he's a hostile mob, and he has a knife, and he attacks you, I think. I don't know if you can play this mod on a survival world or anything, but I know for a fact you can definitely mess around with it in creative mode and such. But yeah, it's nothing too crazy. It's just a simple mod about Grimace, a mascot from McDonald's, of course. Obviously, that mod was made during the whole Grimace Shake memes and such. But yeah, that's Grimace. Hey, future Boost Harbor Studios here. Just to make a small announcement before we continue with this video. This video was supposed to come out way earlier than before when I was working on the video at the time, but unfortunately I had to stop working on the video because I got sick. So the video was really put on hold for like a while. I'm feeling a lot better now, but Detro, if you're watching this, I'm really sorry that this video took forever to release. I was working on it, but then I got sick, so I had to like stop working on it. So it's like, yeah. But overall, yeah. Enjoy the video still. I just want to make this clear to why this video took so long to publish. Alright, so the next mod we're going to be taking a look at is called The Injured Error. The Injured Error is a Minecraft ARG mod that Detros made. And I have played the mod before actually, but I didn't really get deep and far into the mod yet. All I know is you do encounter some weird entities. You'll encounter like some strange like corrupted iron golem that attacks you. And you'll even encounter some weird no textured player model mob that stalks you and such. And I think it disappears too if you get close to it or something. I don't know, but like, again, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to the mod. I didn't get that far though in the mod. But yeah, basically the Injured Error is an ARG mod, and for an ARG mod that's not, I mean, it's okay I guess, but you know, it's there. But yeah, that's the Injured excuse me. But yeah, that's the Injured Error right there. Now the next mod from Detros we're gonna be talking about is it's called the Sail We Win Apocalypse. I don't know how to pronounce that word correctly. The Sail We Win Apocalypse. I don't know how to pronounce that. Now honestly, I never played a mod or messed around with it, but I sure as hell don't really know what this mod is even supposed to be about. I know it adds in like these creepy, glitchy looking monsters, and they're huge and they're powerful and all that. But I don't know if this is supposed to be an original mod or this mod's based around some other media or something. Overall, I again never played a mod myself, but watching Detros' video about it, yeah, it basically adds in these glitchy monsters and they're really powerful and such. But yeah, and I also want to mention the models as well. The models do look pretty good as well. I actually forgot to bring this up in the other mods. The models are pretty good. But yeah, that's all I gotta say about this mod and all that. On to the next one. The next Detros mod we're gonna be talking about is the Flesh It Hates. Now, just like some of other of Detros mods, this mod also has multiple versions of the mod too. And of course, it's an infection mod that is based around, well, the Flesh It Hates, aka that one SCP. And of course, multiple versions, you know, same mod, but you know, different models for each of the different mobs that you encounter and all that shenanigans and yeah, all that stuff. But I think the best version is definitely the more current version, the Flesh It Hates the End, whatever that one's called. Now, overall, it's a really good mod. Sadly, you cannot play this one in survival mode. You can only play this one in create mode because for some reason it doesn't have mechanics and such. I don't know if Detros forgot to do that, or he just must have posted an old version, or he posted a mod and the mod just still having to bug out. But overall, pretty good mod. I definitely say the models definitely have improved as time went on. Like back in the oldest version of this mod, we had like the more simpler infected models and such. But as like the mod goes on, now we actually got like more better models now. So yeah, definitely a good job on that, Detro. Anyways, on to the next mod. Alright, so on to the next mod. Another infection mod? Huh. This one's called Neuroparasites. And I never played this one, sadly, but from what I know, it's another infection mod as usual. And I don't really remember what the mobs look like exactly. I'm pretty sure I remember watching Detros' video of showing the release of the mod. I forgot what the mobs look like because I haven't really, again, I never played this mod, so I don't really, again, I never played it, so I don't really know what the models look like. Hold on, let me go check them out real quick. Okay, so I did rewatch the video again, and yeah, the models are not that bad. Most of the infecteds look normal and basic, and then there's some infecteds that actually look really cool. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about this. It's pretty much just another infection mod. But anyways, yeah, that's all I gotta say about Neuroparasites. Next mod from Detro is the Omnidroid. Now, I never played a mod, but I actually know what that thing originates from. It actually originates from a pretty old movie, a really good one too. The Incredibles. Yes, Detro made a Minecraft mod about the Omnidroid from The Incredibles. Now, obviously, if you guys know what The Incredibles is, it's a really fucking fantastic film. Definitely go give it a watch. But yeah, the Omnidroid is from that movie. And I'm pretty sure the reason why Detro made this mod because of the recent, because the fucking recent, comeback from the original Incredibles movie. Like, I don't know how the movie even got. I don't know how the Incredibles movie somehow got popular again. Shockingly enough, despite being old, but hey, it happens. But yeah, there's a Detroman Minecraft mod about the Omnidroid. And I'm pretty sure there's other Minecraft mods about the Omnidroid too for Java and such, but yeah, there it is, the Omnidroid. Again, never played a mod, but I know exactly where that thing originates from, the Incredibles. From what I saw in the video, yeah, it's the Omnidroid and it's another OP mob. So yeah, that's that. Also, the model looks badass. Alright, next one is actually a still recent mod pretty much at this point. Extra Top Police. I actually made a video showcasing the mod before, and there's really nothing much to it really. It's just another infection mod. But I will say this, the mobs look fantastic. I mean, obviously you got the basic infected, but then you got like some of the really cool infected. Like, you got the boss mobs, which looks really horrific to look at. You even got some like other infected that look pretty nice to look at too. So it's like, yeah, pretty much another infection mod. But holy, the mobs look really sick. At least like a good amount of them are. But again, I don't really have much to say about it because it's just another infection mod. Same mechanics as usual. Time to move on to the last release mod. And here we are. The mod that I have saved for last. A mod that somehow is the reason that Detro got... For some reason, the one mod that I made a video about that got Detro's attention and such. Actually, even before I made that video talking about said mod. Yeah. But anyways, I think it's time that I bring up this mod. Yep, the Mimic from Hell. Now, I already talked about this mod in my videos and such, so I'm going to kind of make this one short. So, the Man from Hell started off all the way back in its oldest version. It started off as just one simple mob that is extremely OP because it's very tanky and it hits like a truck. And now we get to the current version of the mod now where it's really an ARG. So yeah, this mod also has multiple versions of the mod too. So we got the first version and the second version, which, you know, same mod but different design, slightly changed. It's just adds in one powerful mob, which is the Man from Hell. Then we get the Man from Hell Remastered, which basically it's the same thing, except the Man from Hell really got nerfed. And then, and of course, it has a much cooler design. And then we get the Man from Hell Remastered 2.0, where the Man from Hell actually has a new mechanic where it can disguise itself as basically a full-on, you know, vanilla mob and such. Then we get the Man from Hell Beginning of End, where basically it's starting to become a full-on ARG now. Not only do we got a freaking Man from Hell, which is, he is extremely OP in that version. Then we also got the other version of the Man from Hell, the Negative Mimic, which can really crash your game if it kills you. And now we got the current version of the Man from Hell. The Man from Hell, Eyes of Hell, whatever it's called. Definitely the more current version of the mod we got now, which you can actually only download the current version of the mod on ModBay from Detros, of course. And yeah, it's really just a straight up ARG mod. It's crazy how it's amazing. Now, obviously, the current version of the Man from Hell mod is, you know, still in beta, I think, so it's not really finished. I also forgot to bring that up with the extra Topolis infection mod too, that it's in beta as well. It's not really finished yet. But yeah, overall, that's all I really gotta say about the Man from Hell. It's a very amazing freaking mod. Starting off all the way as a simple, you know, not big mod, now it just became a full-on ARG mod. But anyways, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you leave a like, comment down below if you guys want to do so. I'm finally glad that I get to get this video done in such a way. Again, this video was really supposed to come out way sooner, like way sooner, but got sick, so I had to wait till I get better in order to even finish this video. Anyways, I'm Detros Videos, and I'll catch you all next time.